It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
And it's on.
Run it to your friends. Come on.
Come on.
It's a moment of the show tonight. Mailbag is time. Sinclair's on the mic.
Once again, it's on. You see a trouble in your home. Got you tripping, don't know right from wrong. Send your letters to the show so we can talk you through. Get the answers to your questions because we see that truth. Sometimes you doubt yourself, lost your health. Faith is on the fence, but you believe that Jesus knows your well. Keep it moving, spirit flowing, because we're here to provide someone to lean on when you're falling. Wednesday, 8 and 9, and it's on.
Once again, it's on. You're listening to the only morning show at night, people. That's right. It is the Sinclair Show coming to you live and direct. Yes, indeed, indeed. Woo! It's been a long day, people. Y'all ever had just a straight up, outright long day? That's what I had today. As a matter of fact, I ain't even really been in that long, so y'all almost didn't catch me. That's right, because I almost just came in, got a shower, and went straight to relax mode. But I said, no, y'all the people. Because y'all the people and y'all come to see me, then I'm going to stay up and see y'all. See, that's what teamwork is about, okay? Just putting it out there in y'all mindset so y'all understand. Anyway, I want to thank all of y'all who continue to send your mailbag questions and comments to sinclairtalk@outlook.com. We're going to continue to address as many as possible each night that I'm on the air to reach you, the valued listener. And some of y'all might be thinking, well, how and why are we the valued listeners? Because if y'all wasn't up here, there'd be no reason for me to be up here. Just like that. For real. Now, if y'all see me out here drinking a little lemonade, getting my thirst quenched, it's because I don't want to be out in this camp and mess around and be done got dehydrated. Some of y'all don't know nothing about that. I see some people popping on. That's good. That's good news. Good news. Glad to see everybody popping on. So, yeah, for those of y'all that had a tough or rough or a hot day like it was today, I'm talking about today it was what we like to call in the country, it was a scorcher. Now, some of y'all don't know nothing about that in the city. You know, y'all got all that asphalt. Y'all think little temperatures is hot. See, when it's like 96, 97 degrees, it's a scorcher. And so, you know, you have a lot of stuff going on. I'm going to tell y'all something real funny. And don't y'all be out there telling my business, because it's like people that be listening to the show, and then some of y'all know my career, and y'all go back and tell when I be trying to tell y'all secrets. Yeah, matter of fact, before I tell y'all this, do y'all know what a secret is? A secret is something that I'm just telling y'all. Y'all ain't supposed to go back and tell nobody. We done laid the foundation for it. So what I'm about to tell y'all is it's a secret. Meaning don't go snitching. And I know that's hard for some of y'all, like Taya. She been snitching since she was a little girl. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, so let me tell y'all what happened. So I was at work today, doing my best to do my best. And there was a part of the scope of my responsibility is associated with the operations and the facilities of this organization. And so remember I started off telling y'all it was a scorcher today. So this organization, we have multiple buildings. And unfortunately, sometimes the air conditioning units in buildings don't always correspond, especially when they are controlled by software programs. Let me just say that. And so one of the buildings that was where the AC unit was not as effective as it should have been was the president was at. Now, I have a president who has a very, very high IQ. And the president will ask you questions that sometimes they know the answer to, and then sometimes they don't. But when they ask you the question, you believe they know it because you know how smart they are, right? And so I was having a regular dialogue, as I so often do. I like to what we call brief the president on mission critical items. So then this morning, as we began having some dialogue, the president asked, was there an update about the air conditioning? Now, mind you, I'm not housed at the same building that the president is. And my air conditioning was extremely cold. I mean, it was nippy in there, if you will. But anyway, so the president asked this question about the air conditioning. So I politely said, President, I'll get back with you with an update. And I'm going to tell y'all the scope of how you got to think when you're in leadership. When you're in leadership and you get asked a question by the highest office in the land, you got to think about how you want to give the answer. Even if it is a simple answer, your answer may not need to be too simple, especially if it is bad news. So I do what all good leaders do. I call to get the update. I called my facilities director and I said, hey, can you give me an update on the air conditioning in this particular building? And my facilities director said with such sadness in his voice, well, Doc, it's probably not going to be up and running at full capacity until tomorrow around noon or later. And I'm thinking to myself, that surely isn't what I want to have to call and tell the president. But it's my job to take one like an OG. So I said, all right, no problem. Thanks for the update. And I called the president back and I said, President, I got some good news and some bad news. Now, the funny part about good news and bad news is most of you, if somebody tell you they got some good news and some bad news, what do y'all ask for first? Anybody? Y'all tell me, when somebody tells you I got some good news and some bad news, what do you naturally ask for first? I'll wait. Ain't nobody answering. Well, let me tell you what I asked for. Normally, I'm going to ask for the bad news first. And why do I want the bad news? Because once I get the bad news and I can balance my emotions from the bad news, anything you tell me from that point is going to be sky's the limit. Look at that. Taya says she wants the bad news first herself. Good job. Look at my mama. Hey, mama. There's Detective Pamela Black. Glad to see you. Taya Matthews, what's going on? So anyway, like Taya, I would want the bad news, but the president had the audacity to ask me, well, if it isn't our homegirl, JC, I'm surprised you up here. You came in a little late after all those pitchforks from last week you was throwing at me. But anyway, nonetheless. So the president said, give me the good news. And I was struck because we really didn't have any good news. So I said, the good news is you're an excellent leader. And the president chuckled. And I knew at that point I had to go ahead and deliver the bad news. And the president said, well, what's the bad news? I said, in regards to the air conditioning unit, you're probably going to need some ice cubes today. And I'm telling you, people, you don't realize how bad things can be until the weatherman says it's going to be 97 degrees and you are required to go tell the leader of your organization, who has a high aptitude, that they will not be participating in any of the cool down efforts of the institution because the AC is broken down and not operating properly. So I just thought that I would enlighten y'all to that little knowledge capade that happened today. So, needless to say, the president, and this is another piece of that little story that wasn't so great. When you know you're going to somebody's office and it's hot over there and your office is cool, you know, you really don't like being summoned to that person's office. And it seemed like that the president summoned me to the scorching outpost that is their building probably about 5 times a day. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder if the president is doing this intentionally. What up, Cassandra? Glad to see you. But yes, I believe now, as I sit here and talk with you all, that the president intentionally summoned me to that horrible hot post of a building because I had air conditioning in my building. I'm sitting up here thinking about it. I have to ask that question tomorrow. But anyway, so that was part of how my day was. And my day was extended longer than what I want to because we are doing very big things at our organization. We are changing, renovating, adding new furniture. And so today it was like a million trucks pulled up at the same time. You would have thought it was either the government coming to get us or we had hit the lottery. There was so much stuff going on and they was just bringing in furniture and doing all kind of stuff. What did JC say? JC said, misery loves company, they say. I believe you, JC. I believe that's why the president summoned me so many times to that sweltering hot building, is because I was in air conditioning and they were, and let me get this straight. The air conditioning in their location was working. It just wasn't working in optimal capacity. Leetta Cole, glad to see you. And so the truth is they had some cooling effect, but here's the problem when it's sweltering hot outside and your air conditioning unit is not operating at maximum capacity, and you got people that want to keep going in and out of the doors. See, if people knew how to sit down somewhere and just use their phone and computers to communicate, then it probably would have been, let's say, 18, 20 degrees cooler in the building. But they kept walking in and out like they was going to get ice cubes or something. But anyway, nonetheless, so I almost forgot about you all today. I was out there working late. I think I worked to probably almost 7 o'clock. It was certainly after 6. And as I drove, I was like, well, we the people in order to form a more perfect union. So I said, I'm going to push through. And so we're on tonight. And if I'm being true, I really wanted to get on tonight because the topics from last week was so hot. Y'all had the internet on fire. And I told y'all that tonight's conversation, I knew it was going to be nothing less than masterful. And so for y'all that wasn't a part of the show last week we had some little sensitive subjects. And I told them before the end of the show that The topic this week was going to be based on a comment often made by some, not all women. And most of the time it is made by women who are in a negative state of mind. Not all. And for those of y'all who be wondering why I'm always trying to put that little disclaimer out there, because some people, if you don't specify that you're not talking about everybody, they will simply say, why are you boxing everybody into the same corner? Where deep in my mind, I believe there are many who probably should be in that corner, but I digress. JC, I used one of your words from last week. I digress. But anyway, so the conversation got a little bit heated from last week because we had asked a simple question about the delineation of funds. What I think somebody had wrote or sent me a question that said, what do you call a man that gives a woman his entire paycheck? And that whole conversation just went left. But we did expound into some other areas, but I don't even want to bring them other areas of tonight because I ain't got that much time. But I told y'all, matter of fact, I got a Sinclair Show t-shirt for the first person who could tell me what tonight's topic is supposed to be about. Y'all got about 60 seconds. If anybody can tell me what the title of tonight's topic is supposed to be. I told y'all what it was going to be last week at the end of the show. If anybody can tell me, the first person to tell me going to get a Sinclair Show t-shirt or one of them tumblers. Anybody know what it's supposed to be tonight? Oh, well, no tumblers or t-shirts for you all. I'm going to tell y'all what tonight's show message is. The message for tonight is, why do some women, not all, when they are angry or when they are about to leave a dude, they love to say, I don't need you. I work 2 jobs to take care of me and mine. And the question that I told you all I was going to ask, and I am a man of my word, is if you are willing to go and work multiple jobs to take care of yourself and or you and yours, as you all like to say, why would you then have a problem paying part or half of the bills if you was with that man? Again, think about the concept. And I'm only talking about women who have the mentality that I don't need you. And if I have to, I'll leave you alone. I'll go get my own XYZ and I work 2 jobs to take care of me and mine. So if you're willing to do that when you're mad, you're willing to leave and go pay, work 2 jobs to pay to take care of you or you and yours, then why would you have a problem paying half the bills if you was with your man? I just want to know. Matter of fact, if y'all can answer the question in some details and explain to me and the other people out here in listening land, we might could get off early. Because it seems counterproductive that you are so motivated and so strong-willed and you are Mrs. Do what I gotta do when you and your dude are not going to be together. Why don't you have that mentality when you are? Y'all seem like y'all real quiet tonight. What's the problem? Cat got your little tongues? Or nobody wants to answer the question because it defies logic and reasoning. And I'm not even saying that some of y'all are saying it. I believe women when they say they will do it. Because I see a lot of women. JC back in the game. Let's see what she said. I guess it's the I can do bad by myself mentality. Okay, check. I'm rocking with you on the philosophy. And again, I don't believe it's hyperbole, if you will, because I believe that many women actually do it. They ain't just talking about it. I believe women get up, get out, step up, and go and handle their business in a lot of these situations. So I don't believe you're just talking about it, but I want to know, why are you so anti-do half or whatever when you with the man? That don't make sense. Ty said, hold on, let me let y'all read what she said. Ty said, I think sometimes that's a response to the men telling them that they are not going to be able to make it without them. No. Come on, Ty. No, I don't believe that it ain't no whole bunch of men out here sitting around telling women that they ain't going to be able to make it without them. I don't think. Well, maybe I should ask that. How many of you ladies have had a man tell you you ain't going to be able to make it without them? It doesn't seem like it's a practical statement, but I could be wrong. So how many of you all have had a man tell y'all? Matter of fact, let me ask this question. What is the nature of the conversation that would lead to a man telling a woman, you ain't going to be able to make it without me? Because it would appear that for that conversation to come up, that the woman must have initiated some part of the conversation indicating she was getting, that she didn't need to be with him. Because now think about what I'm about to say. In order for a man to say, you're not going to be able to make it without me, it has to indicate that the woman has alluded to the fact that she's getting ready to dip or don't need him. JC said, I don't think women are anti-paying half, but that's the perception. Well, JC, all right. Let me give JC the benefit of the doubt, but I must go back and say, if you said, I don't think women are anti-pay half, but that's the perception. All right. How many women do you know that pay half or more in a relationship? Now, let me say as a matter of principle, I don't believe that a woman should have to pay half. I believe that it is in the leadership code that men should subscribe to, that they should be responsible for 60% or greater of the bills. That's my mindset. But I think that's just ego and some other things, but I do stand 10 toes down on it. But JC says she don't think women are anti-paying one half, but that's the perception. Well, JC, where do you think the perception came from? See, some of y'all don't want to chit chat, but I can appreciate JC. JC is down with dialogue. And so she's helping to educate all of us. So JC, where do you think people get the perception that women feel that way? Since everybody else got their quiet caps on, ain't got nothing to say. Y'all be tough talking any other time. Don't be quiet like some church mice now. I just want to know. Because see, JC, if that's the general perception that women are not about paying half of the bills, then the perception must have derived from some location. Because if most women were paying, okay, the other got something to say. Let me see what she got to say. I feel it's all depicted on the reasoning behind the conversation that led to the decision to take that stance. That sounds real legal. So break that down. You're saying that you feel like the reason why the conversation kicked off is what led the woman to say that, which then triggered the man to allegedly say something that Ty is saying about a man telling a woman she ain't gonna be able to make it without him. And ain't none of y'all answered the question, had y'all ever had a man tell y'all that? But Leanna, you might be right. Hold on. Leanna said, no, not only it say it, but do it. Okay, she said not only to say it, but to do it. Well, the thing, I think I'm trying to understand, because JC made a point by saying she doesn't believe that women are anti-paying half, but it's a perception. If it is a perception out there, the perception must have come from somewhere. Why would it be the perception or the general belief that women are against it, even if they're not? That right there, I just want to know. Because if you say, well, women aren't really anti, but they're not really doing it either. And again, that's not a problem for a regular man. But I do believe that if you're going to boast up and say to a man, I don't need you, I leave you alone, or I pack my stuff and I work 2 jobs if I got to take care of me and mine. If that's going to be your stance, then why would you have a problem if you were with that man paying half? Yeah, say it could, hold on. It could be how the relationship started. Maybe he took care of everything in the beginning. Okay, that could be the case. So, all right. Well, if he's the type of dude that took care of everything in the beginning, then why would you be bucking up and boastful and talking crazy if you got the type of man that's taking care of everything? And where the dudes at tonight? They done got a little nervous, so they ain't popping on the show. I don't understand it. So if you got that kind of a dude that's taking care of everything, then what could cause you to be bucking up talking about you finna dip and you don't need him? What you dipping about? I mean, that's just a general question. I don't know, because I know some of y'all like to talk tough anyway. Some of y'all want to wear the pants and do all kind of stuff. I'm not judging, but I'm saying it defies logic for me if you got that type of dude, because I'm pretty sure that there's some women out there who are having to pay 50% or greater who would love to find a man who was of the mindset that he'll take care of the things. Ty said, maybe you want to dip because he's creeping, or maybe he's got a bad temper, or maybe he's OCD. It could be anything. JC said, if we pay half, then people say, why are you with a man that makes you pay half? If we pay nothing, then we're lazy or gold diggers. If we pay all, then we're too independent. We can't win for losing. Well, JC, that's an interesting perspective. Let's break that down. She said, we say half, if we pay half, then people say, why are you with a man that makes you pay half? All right, well, JC, who would be the people saying that? Let's break it down pace by pace. You said, if we pay half, then people going to say, why you with a man that makes you pay half? What group of people is that? It's got to be some more of these, it's got to be some haters. Uh-oh. So I ain't talking about facts. Leetta said that part, JC. Okay. To be real, other women. Okay, JC, keeping it one. JC, look, you're gonna mess around and get a microphone. We're gonna have you part of the show for like me. Now, okay. JC done kept it real. She said half of y'all women be hating on other women who don't have a problem paying half, and y'all be trying to talk them women up out of their residence, talk them out of being with a dude because, and listen to the way that JC said it. Those women, those hating women who are in the group that says, JC said, if we pay half, then people say, and when we say who is people, she said other women. Why are you with a man that makes you pay half? First of all, the connotation that a man is making a woman pay half is the kind of thing that hating women would have to say. Because when you ain't got a man, what does those same hating women that told you not to be with a man that'll pay half of your life expenses, what do those women say? See, some of y'all don't know how to read beyond the press clippings. Some of you ain't got a man because you so busy listening to your woman's circle who is telling you not to be with a dude because you got to pay half, but they right there listening to you down a different struggle street when you got to pay all. That defies logic. Maybe you need to start checking on who you're listening to. Because JC, if you know, and you may not, and I'm okay with it because I appreciate the fact of your feedback, but what do those women say when you out here paying 100%? If you don't have a man and you're paying 100%, are those women are they happier for you then? And I'm inclined to believe that some of them women, some of them haters would love to have your half bill paying man, because there's a lot of women out here that's paying 80 and 90% of the bills, and they the ones got a dude that ain't doing nothing. So they'll love to find them a dude that's willing to pay half or more of the bills, but y'all out here listening to your crew. Y'all out here listening to a crew tell you that you shouldn't be being with a dude who makes you. See, that's the phrase right there that gets me. Y'all use the phrase that makes you pay half. Ain't nobody making you pay nothing, because if you didn't have them, you'd be paying 100%. Now, them real facts right there. Stand on it, people. If you are not in a relationship, then you are paying 100% of your life expenses. Am I right about that? Come on now, talk with me. Don't get quiet now. We answering yes, no type questions. Ladies, if you don't have a man and you're not in a relationship, are you responsible for 100% of your life expenses? That's a yes or no question. And I'll wait. Okay. Leetta said yes. All right, great job. Glad y'all can respond. So if you are by yourself and you're paying 100% of your life expenses, then for the woman, for the haters, I don't care if they're your cousins, your sisters, your girlfriend, your best friend. I don't care if it's the females at your job that you done snitch your business to. I don't care who it is. If you don't have a man and you're paying 100%, you ought to tell the woman that has a problem with you paying 50% when you with a man, you ought to tell her, girl, go get you either a man or some business, because I just came from a space in my life where I was paying 100% and I got a dude that's willing to pay 50% of the bills, which means I just got me a 50% revenue raise in my bank account. Am I right about it, people? Legal Beagle, don't the numbers add up? If you was paying 100%, you get a man in your life and that man starts taking care of 50% of your living expenses, doesn't that mean that you just was able to put 50% of your revenue back in your pocket? Sometimes paying 100% is worth it. Look at Xavier. That's my boy right there. Y'all see them hand claps? I'm trying to tell y'all, I'm keeping it a stack with you. And you know what, Leetta, you might be right. Sometimes paying 100% is worth it. That's based on the type of dude that you pick. But if you are picking, matter of fact, rather than thinking about it that way, you ought to think, and I'm not telling y'all how to act, but I don't understand the math. The math ain't math. And if you got friends that's telling you you shouldn't be with a man because he's only paying half of your bills, and maybe you should pay 100%. As a matter of fact, maybe some of y'all ain't paid 100% in a long time. So if you pay 100%, maybe you can appreciate a brother that's paying 50%. They said money would never be able to purchase peace. Well, I can tell you this. You're absolutely right. It can't purchase peace. But if you got the type of folks in your circle that the only reason why they telling you you shouldn't be with a man is because he's only paying 50% of your responsible life expenses, then you need to check your friend circle. What's going on, Essie Shepherd? Annie Moore, glad to see ya. JC said that goes back to the comment, I can do bad by myself. Well, some of the reasons why some of the people having to do it by themselves is because you ain't thinking for yourself. You letting your friends think for you. You letting your friends tell you that being with a man paying 50% of your life expenses is he's not a good dude. I don't even know how you allow yourself. If you that much of a critical thinker, math is math. Now, unlike the stuff Leetta was talking about, I don't know where she went down on that path, but JC said that people say if you with a man that makes you pay half, then you stupid. See, we ain't talked about whether or not he was a good dude or bad dude. This was strictly about the revenue side of it. Now, if you say, or somebody says, hey, I picked a bad dude, then that should be your girl saying, you shouldn't be with that dude because he's a bad dude, because he's an aggressive dude, because he's this or that. But if the only reason why the folks in your inner circle tell you you shouldn't be with a man is because he's requiring you to pay 50% of your living expenses, then that tells me something about the crew. Tonight's show wasn't about, JC didn't bring up a bad dude who does aggressive things or who's doing all this other stuff. We're only talking about the comment or the perception. And she says that you all, meaning women, can't win because there's 3 categories that sometimes you find yourself in. She said the first one is, if y'all pay half, then people say, why you with a man that makes you pay half? Leetta talking about, that's why every situation is different. Need to know the situation behind the decision. But we weren't talking about that. Right now, we're exploring what JC talked about. Now, if you want to add those other intangibles to it, that maybe he's a bad guy, maybe he got a bad attitude, maybe all these other things. But JC was speaking of how you all can't win because it doesn't matter what you do, somebody's going to have something to say about it. Now we're sitting around making a dude the bad dude. Right now, all we talking about is dudes who are all right dudes, but your girls say don't be with a man that makes you pay half. She said the second category is if we pay nothing, then we're lazy or gold diggers. Who calls you lazy or gold diggers? JC hit it on the head. She said, how about we don't tell people what's going on in our relationship, and that'll settle so many problems. Say it again. JC, boy, you hitting on all cylinders tonight. See, that's that thing right there. JC said, if you don't want people judging you about what you got to pay, stop telling your homegirls your business. Stop having them huddle ministries where you giving them the best and worst of whatever goes on in your life, and then they giving you they $2 worth of information. And I promise you, if it's any men that want to comment, you can, but I keep it a stack for all brothers. Half the folks you got in your inner circle don't want you to be happy, no way. And I can tell you, as a counselor, I see so many cases where folks listening to their friends who don't follow the advice that they're giving you. Because I bet your girlfriend ain't going to leave a dude paying half of her life expenses. She ain't foolish as you is. Y'all around here having them emotional huddle ministries where y'all get together and put your fists in the air and y'all say, we will win. And y'all get to telling each other and boosting each other's ego up. What's going on, James? That's exactly what takes place. Y'all get together with some of these haters that been wishing you bad the whole time. Because I can promise you this, half of them love to have your man, the one that's willing to pay half your living expenses. But y'all telling them your business, and they giving you that advice. Girl, don't be with a man that only pay half your bills. You can do better than that. If you ain't paying nothing, then y'all say some folk call you lazy or gold diggers. I don't know who the some folk is. It ain't going to be nobody in your circle. Trust me, the folks in your circle, your homegirls, they think you're winning when you ain't got to pay nothing. So if somebody is calling you lazy or a gold digger, it's because the dude done put your business out. Or one of your girls done put your business out who ain't really your girl. She really be hating on you, and she really waiting for you to fail so she can step up, step in, and step out. But you so busy listening to everybody. You listening to the haters. Ain't nothing in your mind gonna let you simmer down and submit mentally or emotionally to your man, but you will be submissive to your friends telling you what you ought to do with your life. Now, let me say this. Ladies, I don't think that you know gold digger or lazy if you're not paying bills. I simply believe that what happens is, if that's what type of relationship you in, if he don't have a problem with it, nobody should have a problem with it. But JC gave y'all the seasoning. She said, stop telling your homegirls your business. Anymore says, thank God I don't have a huddle ministry or in one. My business is my business, and it ain't none of your business. Woo! I keep trying to tell y'all, everybody ain't no grown woman. But Annie Moore talking that grown woman talk. I'm going to repeat it one time for y'all in the nosebleed section. She said, thank God I don't have a huddle ministry or I'm not in one. She said, my business is my business, and it ain't none of your business. Now, I know some of y'all stomach hurting right now. Why is your stomach hurting? Because you just heard two grown women say, keep your friends, siblings, kick it with them, your huddle ministries, keep them out your business. And Annie Moore told you when you don't have them in your business, you don't have them problems. James said, grown folk talk. Ty said, Annie Moore, I agree, facts. See, I don't want everybody to start agreeing with Annie Moore tonight because you ain't doing it. Because if you was doing it, y'all wouldn't be having these problems. The third thing that JC said, and it's on the screen, if we pay all, then we're too independent. All right. So, JC, I'm inclined to believe that if you put that piece up there, that you're implying that a man would say that you're being too independent. Am I correct on that? Or who is saying you independent if you pay all the bills? Now, I'm going to say this for you right here. And I'm going to keep it a stack, women. This is probably in support of y'all. I don't believe in the absence of you being with somebody and that person becoming sick and or injured, I don't believe it's a woman out here on this planet that ought to be with a man that ain't paying no bills. With the caveat, unless he has become sick and or injured. Because I believe anybody should have an opportunity to recover from an illness before they're expected to go out there. But I believe you are too independent if you're fighting to take care of all the bills and you got a man and he just sitting at the crib chilling. Matter of fact, that's far past too independent. You's a fool. And fellas, don't get mad. I'm not trying to knock if y'all got a situation that y'all is milking it, whatever. I just don't believe that's the way a man ought to be. Unless he is sick and or injured, I don't believe a man can feel like a man if he is sitting and allowing a woman to pay 100% of the bills. That's just my philosophy. And JC, I do believe that most real men are going to feel like you are trying to be too independent if you'd rather pay 100% of the bills, or sometimes you got women whose pride would get in the way and they might be struggling a little bit and they don't want to ask nobody for no help. Now, fellas, let me go on speed feed this to your minds. If you got a woman and she's struggling, she shouldn't have to ask you. You ought to be able to listen to the tone of the conversation and know if she ain't got, and maybe you ought to volunteer on something. Now, if you volunteer and she say, no, I'm good, hey, all you could do is all you could do. But I do know some women who got those little complexes, and if you try to help them, then they'll say they don't need them. No need to get into an argument about your support. But fellas, too many times, we don't even ask. We be like, hey, it is what it is. I'll say it again. If you got a woman, regardless to what level she is in your life, if you got somebody that you care about, close to, whatever you want to say, and you know that they are having some financial hardships, if you will, fellas, you ought not make them ask you for support if you already done heard them say it. JC said, I feel like a lot of us were taught to be independent and not depend on a man. That can be a hard mindset to break. Well, I agree, but you must then ask yourself, why would that indoctrination be necessary in the first place? Because most of the time when you grow up and you got some women in your sphere of influence and they are telling you that you don't Don't be dependent on a man. You need to make sure you take care of yourself and this, and that. Most of the time, they probably ain't got one. And I'm not judging as to whether it's a good thing, bad thing. That's not my cup of tea. But I'm saying to you, when somebody tells you that you shouldn't be dependent on a man and do everything yourself, they are normally telling you, and a man can't tell you what to do neither. So I said, most of the time, the woman that tells you that they've been let down by men and they relied on, well, first of all, that may be the case. But I subscribe that many times it's somebody that's hating or somebody that's become so hardened that they don't have a man in their life and they don't want you to have one. And they're going to tell you that a man can't tell you what to do. That's part of the problem. And it is prevalent in minority communities and certainly in black communities. Y'all are always being told a man can't tell you what to do. I'm just amazed that there's always somebody that ain't got a man telling it to you. There lies the key to it. No, a man can't tell you what to do when it ain't one in your life. And then y'all always hating on the ones that got a man and can keep a man that be listening to they men. Because then some of y'all be like, oh, he got her brainwashed. Why does a man have to have a woman brainwashed just because she trusts his judgment and she might follow a few things that he says? If you got a good man, you ought not have a problem listening to him. I'm just saying. JC said, would that be generational trauma passed down? Absolutely, JC. As a counselor, I've long said that I believe it is a hereditary thing that keeps getting trained into young women. And I think it's sad because those same huddle ministries that'll tell you, girl, he can't tell you what to do. He can't tell you how to dress. He can't tell you where to go. He can't tell you who to see. The same crew that's telling you that either don't have a man or miserable with the one they got or probably got one that they can tell what to do. I'm just telling you. Because it's a crazy mindset. Some of you have girls that says, as JC said, you ought to have, and I'm not attributing this as JC's thoughts. I'm saying JC gave us 3 examples. The one that says, if a man is asking you to pay 50% of the bills, you don't really need to be with him. That's the same type of woman who says that a man should pay 100% of your bills. But if a man is paying 100% of your bills, how can you then say he shouldn't be able to tell you nothing? That's why y'all got the game messed up. You want him to be a leader in your life when it comes to finances, but you want to have 50% of the say so. It don't work like that. It just doesn't work that way. Because then you got to ask yourself what you bringing to the table. Where do you get your 50% of the say so? You want him to take care of 100% of what it costs you to live, but you don't want him to tell you nothing because your friends told you, girl, a man can't tell you what to do. You do what you want to do. I just can't process that that's the way that there is an engagement of thought in you all circles and y'all stand 10 toes down on it. Some of you have listened to your friends, your family, your homegirls, people on TV that think it's okay to cuss a man out, tell him off, whatever. You ain't got to listen to him. Every time he say something, you ain't gonna listen because you ain't got to. But then y'all be sitting around talking about, But if you find a man, he ought to take care of you. Why would he want to? You want him to pay you to tell him you ain't got to listen to him because your homegirl said so. And again, find me a woman in a good relationship. She will never tell another woman not to be in one. Find me a woman in a good relationship. She will never tell another woman you shouldn't consult or listen to your man. Find me a woman that understands what the growth of a relationship and how to be in a relationship with a real man. She will never give another woman bad information because she understands the value of a relationship. The ones normally spewing this negative energy towards y'all and telling y'all, girl, leave him. You can work you 2 jobs and take care of yourself. You can work 5 jobs. You can do this. You can find a man that'll do this for you on the side. They'll give you every excuse for you not to have a man. Girl, if he don't act right, I wouldn't do this. That's what your friends tell you. That's what your female family members will tell you. Them huddle ministries have gotten so many of y'all so that you got all night to talk to them because you ain't got a man. And what I don't understand, and I'm sure most men don't understand, is why are you so comfortable taking instructions and orders from a female telling you how to live your life, but you won't take instructions from a male who is trying to live the life with you? I'm just saying, I ain't no genius, but don't that make sense? You ain't gonna let no man tell you what to do, but you will let all 5, 6, 7, 8 of them females you call your homies in your huddle ministries or that you see at work or wherever, you will let them females tell you, don't let no man tell you what to do. He don't run you. He trying to control you. What are they doing? Why are you comfortable listening to them, but not a man? Hey, what's the motive? Everybody got a modus operandi, how you act, what you do. You ain't gonna never put the spotlight on yourself or your crew because y'all comfortable uplifting each other in foolishness. And the first time you see somebody with that dude that they told you to leave alone and they flourishing, you somewhere mad at what you could have had. Oh, here we go. Evangelist Robinson, glad you on the show. I just want to keep it a stack for y'all. Some of y'all have not because you don't deserve to have. Some of y'all have exactly what you're supposed to have. The one you listen to is the one you ought to be with. So if you listen to your girlfriends, be with your girlfriends. When there comes situations in your life, you call them same ones you listening to. Because I'm going to tell you, the average real man don't have time for the foolishness. I keep telling y'all, we got to go to work every day. We got to battle with what's going on out there in them streets. Nobody wants to get into a battle with you because your homegirls have filled your head all day long, texting and talking because you on some roller coaster and they telling you what you ain't got to deal with. Girl, you ain't got to deal with them. But I bet you they will. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to keep it a real stack. If you really do got a man that's either capable or taking or willing to take care of things for you, he don't have to be with you. Because you know how many female would like to have a dude that's willing to do those things? You laughing and talking trash about a man who will only pay 50% of your lifestyle responsibilities. He ain't got to pay none of it. They your responsibilities. So if you meet a man that's willing to do that, maybe what you ought to be saying to yourself is, how good is it that I have someone who cares enough that they want to make sure I could put 50% of my money back in my pocket? Because when you go out with them girlfriends, I bet you they ain't paying for your dinner. I bet you when it's time to fill up your car, they ain't giving you 50% of the money to fill it up. I bet you when you leave him and your rent due, they not giving you 50% of the money for your rent. You doing 100% and letting them tell you what you shouldn't have did with that dude. And now one of them over there getting him to take care of 50% of their bills. While you sitting around playing the song, I could do bad by myself. I don't need no help to starve to death. You don't need no help. But we are at the end of the life cycle of the foolishness, because the worst thing can happen to anybody. This ain't gender-based. It's when a person realizes their own value, they don't have to let you devalue them. When a person understands that, look, what I'm willing to do, I don't have to do it for you. I want to do it for you. And if that's not good enough for you, that's on you. But all that arguing and fighting and your homegirls telling you what your man can't say and all that, all I want y'all to do this week, and if you think I'm lying, I want y'all to test it out. Get on the phone when you get off the show. Tell them what Sinclair said. And I want you to write down the comments that your huddle ministry gives you. Girl, I don't know why you're listening to him on that show anyway. He ain't doing nothing but talking foolish. Girl, he's stupid. See, that's the kind of dude you don't want to have in your life. Somebody that's talking something like that. Listen to the comments. Some of them gonna double down. And he right. You don't need no man to tell you what to do. And if you want to be with a man, he ought to do this. I bet you. Write it down, play this shit back on the show, and when they say those things that I just told you, I want you to come back next week. And I want you to tell me next week if they said it. I want you to process that. Because I can tell you what's in short supply out here. Dudes that ain't tired of foolishness is in short supply. Men who are really being men, they in short supply. Because good women know when they got one, and they ain't trying to let somebody come swoop them up listening to their foolish talk. JC said they don't talk like that or move their head like that from side to side. Hey, JC, call it what you want to call it. I'm keeping it a stack. I should have been off 2 minutes ago. But I want to give y'all this knowledge. I want to bet you all right now that you won't get off the show and call your huddle ministries and your friends and your cousins and say what the show was about tonight. And I guarantee you what they're going to do is they're going to tell you, yeah, that's what a man would say. That's that foolishness that men be talking when they want to control you. Control what? What is there to control? No man wants to control anything with a bad attitude. Ain't nobody trying to control no bad attitude. Because a man or woman can go out here every day and get you can find a bad attitude on every corner. Robinson said, I got a good one and I ain't listening to none of their nonsense. Hey, ain't nothing wrong with a person standing up for what they got. It's too many right here, right now, can't get nothing because they don't stand up for what they got. As soon as somebody else get it, now you're talking about what you had. Anymore said, keep people out your business and work things out between you and your man. Some women will run you up on a snag and leave you there. That's that old school knowledge right there. I keep trying to tell y'all, some of you young girls need to listen to these seasoned women and try to learn something. But they ain't who you got in your little sessions. Y'all got them bitter ones that's just like you, your same age bracket, your same mindset. And they will talk you out of two things. They're going to talk you out of the support, and they certainly going to talk you out your man. And a good man or a good woman ain't going to never have a problem finding somebody. Look, people, I'm about to get off this show because I'm tired anyway. But I appreciate y'all. JC, I appreciate you for the feedback. Everybody that gave feedback tonight. Hey, look here, I appreciate y'all. Because some folks scared to put it on the line. I just want y'all to know that we got to get to a point where we start checking and examining the folks in our circle that green light us to act the fool. That's all I'm saying. Look here, I got to go, people.
It's about that time, baby. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go.
The Sinclair Show is on.
It's on.
Running to your friends, come on.
Come on, come on.
It's the moment of the show tonight, baby.